Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be swapping out the shocks and the shock oil on the Rustler 4x4 VXL. I got some 60 weight oil, I got the Traxxas Big Bore shocks. I'm going to swap those out, I'm going to do some comparison tests, and I'm going to see how they perform compared to the originals. These are the shocks I'll be using. These are the Traxxas Big Bore shocks, and I got some 60 weight oil. It comes with, I believe it's 30 weight, but that's too thin for me. I want something a little bit thicker, and I'm going to put that in there and see what it does. Before I swap out those shocks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out to my ramp. I'm going to jump it and land it on the asphalt, and very gently, of course, and I'm going to see how it sounds and how it lands with the old shocks, and then I'm going to swap it out and put the new shocks on there and see how it does. I'm also going to take the Rustler, I'm going to pick it up off the ground and just drop it and let it free fall and see what it does when it lands. All right, let's get these shocks opened up. Oh, that's cool. Oh, they come with all kind of goodies. That's awesome. The way I like to do this is I take this block of wood and I will take the shocks and take the springs off, and I will just set them down inside of this, and this way they can stand up while I'm putting the oil in them and everything. There we go. Alright, so let's unscrew these. Yep, there's nothing inside of them from the start. And there's a little rubber bladder inside of there, so don't lose that little piece. That's kind of important. Fill it up. And once you fill it up, work the shock piston up and down. Not all the way to the top. You see there's air bubbles coming out. Trying to get the air bubbles out of the shock. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but you look down inside the shock, there's little air bubbles coming up. You want all that air out of the shock. There's the air bubbles. Now you just kind of hang out and wait for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however long it takes for those air bubbles to rise up to the top and come all the way out. You want the air bubbles to be completely gone, because air doesn't compress at the same rate that the shock oils do. The shock oils are much more difficult to compress. The air is not. Like for example, that's why brake fluid works the way it does. The brakes in your car, if you ever have air in your lines, your brakes feel really squishy. It's because the air is compressing, whereas the brake fluid doesn't compress as easily as the air does, and shock fluid works the same way. Alright, you look down inside the shock, you see all the way to the bottom there's no air bubbles. That's what you're looking for. You can pretty clearly see the air bubbles if they're in there. Maybe not on camera so easily, but I promise you, and if you were looking down there yourself, you'd see it. Now just take the shock caps. There we go. These big bore shocks do have aluminum caps and aluminum bodies on them. It's very obvious when you're screwing them together. You can feel the metal. They look plastic, but I promise you they are aluminum. Alright, we've got the shocks back together. Let's put the springs on there. Oh, that is, I don't know if you can tell, that is that's pretty stiff. So I'm excited to see how they work. Now I'm going to perform both the tests with the shocks, the original shocks. I'm going to swap them out, and then I'm going to perform the test with the new shocks. I'm going to play them back to back for you so you can see them compared directly. So the first shot will be the original shocks, and the second shot will be the new Big Bore shocks. These are the original shocks. These are the Big Bore shocks. Original shocks. These are the Big Bore shocks. As you can see, I'm running out of daylight, and so I can't really tell on the little bitty screen on the GoPro how these shocks are doing. So I'm going to take this inside, I'm going to look at the footage, and then I'm going to be able to comment and tell you what's going on. And tomorrow I'm going to come out here and run this thing and see how I like these shocks. Alright, so we have a brand new day, we have plenty of daylight, and I have actually watched the footage, and I have driven the Rustler around a little bit to see if I could tell a difference. On the video, it is really hard to tell a difference on the video. It really is. However, when I'm driving it, I can clearly feel a difference. I can feel the way that it handles bumps differently. It's different. I can when it lands, doesn't land quite as hard. It sounds like. I think it handles jumps a little better. I don't know. To me, I think it's different, and I'm going to play around with it and see how much I like this. All right, there's a little bump right here. And whenever I would hit that with old shocks, the rear end would come up and it would flip right on over, but now it doesn't do that. See how it just goes right over that jump? That's so cool. Let's get closer. Are you having trouble keeping up with it? Yeah, it's not quite as loud when it lands. I don't know if you can tell on the video. But I can definitely tell. Oh. Alright guys, so that's the Rustler 4x4 VXL with big bore shocks and the 60 weight oil. What do you think? Can you tell a difference when you watch the video? It's very difficult for me to see the difference, but I can really feel a difference in its handling. I can definitely feel a difference when it hits mostly the smaller bumps. The larger jumps, it does help with the landings, but really the smaller bumps are the ones that it helps out on. I notice a lot whenever I'm going over the side of the driveways or these tiny hills in my yard that the bottom of the chassis doesn't bottom out as much. Usually when you have very thin oil, the bottom of the chassis will come down and hit whatever obstacle you're trying to go over, and it absorbs the shock, and usually it bounces the rear end of the RC over the nose, and it's not doing that anymore. It's hitting the side of my driveway just fine and just kind of launching off of it the way it should, the way the eRevo does. And I really like that part of it. As far as like steering and handling, there's still some body roll. You get less body roll with a thicker oil, but it still handles very similarly, at least in my driveway. I can't really tell. I will probably take it to the track sometime this week or next weekend or something like that and see how it runs. I'm curious to know what it does on the track. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Can you tell a difference? Can you see the change in the handling of this thing? I'm curious to know. But you know, that's it for today, guys. I appreciate you for watching. Like this video if you like it, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you guys next time.